Welcome back to the JSFL. We're here after week 5 going into week 6, and let's do it strong. But we have some JSFL news and injury updates. We got everything you've seen in your normal podcast. So let's get off, as we always do, with the schedule. Recap of the week. On that Thursday night primetime, we had the Enforcers at the Fishers, where the Fishers end up getting the W. They'll go 3-2, taking over the North by a game. Well, at that point, a win over with 2 wins over the rest of the division. And the Houston Enforcers go 2-3. Sadly, they lose there. And yeah, we also started highlights this week, so you can watch the highlights if you don't want to watch the whole game. Then we had at the 1 p.m. game, Power at Pirates. I favored the Power to win this, and I was not disappointed. Both teams actually did pretty well. Kendall Hastings, I think he had 2 touchdown passes, no interceptions, so that was a surprise for me to see with Hastings. And yeah, so the Pirates win there. The Power win there. They won. The Power won. Then the Bats at Earthquake. And if you don't remember last time, the Bats won against the Earthquake last year. And they win again in LA this time. They're in LA last time too. So that's 2 straight wins against LA. LA, they fall 3 games back now, and they are really tanking. Went from first in the league to now almost dead last. I'll talk about that later. But yeah, not good for the Earthquake. Win that Musicians. Pretty good game. Probably runner-up for Game of the Week. But the gameplay was Game of the Week. The Wind get the upset win on divisional rival New Orleans. And this was in New Orleans. And so, New Orleans, they do play. They have been playing really good football. And they still are a great team. But the Wind, wow, what a game. Willie Rogers, 3 touchdown runs. He did great. And definitely top running for MVP right now. But yeah, good game for the Wind. I can't tell. Is this a good team or not? Because, last time they lost to Houston, it was 2-3. And this week they beat New Orleans, who was the best team in the league, undefeated 4-0. So, I don't know. They got to get some more good games, and maybe I'll hop on the Wind train. We'll see. See if they're a good team. Gila Monsters at Natives, Game of the Week. I commentated this one. I can't say anything besides the Phoenix Gila Monsters defense destroyed Kermit Poe. Fred Williams actually went out with a knee injury in this game. And that, I think, is going to last up to week 10. So, hopefully, Williams gets better. And Mark Berry, he stepped in. I think he got a catch or 2. Yeah, Gila Monsters, they destroyed. Byron Baxter, 2 picks. Reigning defensive back of the year. Could be it again because he's doing really well. Yeah. Good game there. Then you had the Monday Night Primetime, Businessmen at Predators. The Predators are on a win streak, and Businessmen were going to try to ruin that. And yes, they did. They came into Atlanta on that rainy day, or rainy night, I should say, and they beat Atlanta. Both the quarterbacks really shaky. Hudson couldn't get anywhere. And Gurnett just some cost picks. Adam Karsh with 2 picks. He did pretty well. One was underthrown, and Karsh just got it. And the second one, I think Karsh got off a tip drill. But I'm not sure. I think it was a tip drill, though. So, yeah, that is that. So, now we get to go into the MVP race. Actually, we're going to power rankings first. 12th is the 0-5 Cleveland Pirates. It goes by record, and they are 2 games behind everyone else in the league. Cleveland, you need to step it up or you're going to be that relocated team. So, the Pirates, I don't know. I don't think they're going to trade for anyone. This is the last week to trade, so I don't think they're going to move on from Hastings. They just need better play. I don't know. Defense hasn't been doing it. It did pretty well against Detroit, but, it's Detroit. Their defense isn't that great. So, then you got 11th, LA Earthquake. 3 weeks ago, these guys were number 1, and now you fall to 11. So, that's how close this league is. 3 straight losses. They lost to Charlotte. Charlotte isn't that great of a team. I'm just going to throw it out there. They can play good against some good opponents, but in my mind, Charlotte's like a middle-of-the-pack team, middle of the pack, yeah. I don't know. I haven't liked LA. They had a 6-1 start last season, and then they blew the playoffs going 7-5. Lost their last game to the Yale Monsters. LA, I think they're the Falcons of the JSFL. They choke a lot. It's like the actual LA team, the Chargers. Charlotte Bats are at number 10 with 2-3 record. A lot of teams with the 2-3 record, I'm noticing. So it's, I mean, these next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These next 5 I could have ranked anywhere, but just cause they beat the LA Earthquake, I'm gonna put the Charlotte Bats here. Their 2 wins are against LA and I don't know the other team, but I can't remember who it was. But Charlotte, I don't know. They haven't impressed me that much. I'm really putting them there because this one play I saw from. I don't like Edward Phillips. They could be 3-3 if he would have made that throw to Tyler Jackson in the end zone. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, again, these 5 could have been anywhere on this list. Number 9 might be a surprise. I'm putting Houston Enforcers here. They beat the Kansas City Wind, knocking them off last week. But this week they get a L here to Minneapolis in prime time. Jackson played great. This defense slowly falling off the charts a bit, but just a few games and they'd be back at the top. This offense really has been disappointing for everyone this year who was a Houston fan. But yeah, I don't know. Again, could have been anywhere. This is where I'm gonna put them. Number 8. Hard for me to put them here, but the Atlanta Predators. Just New York outplayed them. I mean, the defense couldn't stop Gurnett for some reason. We've had struggles on defense all year, even though our overalls are really good. And then Hudson couldn't get going. The New York defense is really good, and I think New York is a really underrated defense, even though they lost Ronaldo Smith. I still think Neil Wagner and Corey Palmer have really stepped in. Those are 2 underrated rookies in my charts. But yeah, I'm not going to make any excuses. Just didn't play well. And then number 7, it was a toss-up between these 2. It's, again, toss-up between 05, but I'm putting the Detroit Power. The reason I'm putting Detroit over all these other teams, their only wins are against Cleveland and let me look. The only wins are against Cleveland and another team, which I want to say is Predator Power at. I think it's the Fishers. Yeah, it's the Fishers. Yep, they beat the Fishers at home week 2. Oh yeah, Power and Fishers. I mean, not Power and Fishers. Fishers and Pirates. So they're all doing against the division. So that's good. That's what you want to see. But the reason I'm putting them here, they've lost games, but they've played some pretty good opponents that they lost to. LA in week 1, they were pretty good. Because remember in the beginning of the season, LA was pretty good beating 2 top tier opponents, but maybe it was a fluke. They barely lost Seattle in a pretty close game, I believe. And then I think they played someone else that was decently good. I gotta go look again. It probably was week 4. Nope, that was week. Jeez, where is it? Power Up Musicians, yeah, they played that rivalry. But yeah, they've kept it kind of close with each good team they played. And I think just off opponent based, I'm gonna put them at number 7. Number 6, a surprise. I think this is the highest they've ever been in the power rankings. I mean, I don't know how long it will last, but New York Businessmen, you are in the top half of the league. Yeah, surprising. I really liked how they played. Besides Garnett's 2 interceptions, I mean, I don't know if they're keeping Gurnett next season. I don't know if he's the future. Because he had, I think that was Austin Myers, wide open down the sideline. And I think they just need a guy that can get better down the deep ball. Because the way New York is building this offense, they need a guy that can make those kind of shots. I mean, Trey Jackson, he isn't getting any younger. He won't be that much of a vertical threat for longer. Sam Johnson, I mean, him and Gurnett have a good connection, but, like, if you're just leaving Austin Myers out to dry here, they drafted a guy with a fast talent. And Gurnett, he's not that kind of guy. So I don't know if they're going to rock with Gurnett next season, but yeah, I don't know. I just think they maybe need to go off the quarterback next draft. Maybe not even got to take over Gurnett's spot. Maybe just like draft one. Don't even need to get in the first round. Maybe third, second round, and just see if he can contest with Gurnett's spot. Maybe he can take it. Who knows? Number 5, I'm having 3-2 Minneapolis Fishers. You know, the Fishers surprised me a little this season. They came out the gates beating Seattle. beat Houston, and then their games have been pretty good. Dickerson, he hasn't had the best season, but he hasn't looked bad. He's had 4 touchdowns, 2 picks. I think the Fisher just wanted a guy that can flow the ball, and he's really been that guy. And the way they're cruising right now, they could definitely be a playoff team. I don't know if they're going to make a deep playoff run to the JSL Championship, but underdog Minneapolis Fishers, they could break. They killed Seattle in week 1. Underdog team right here for Minneapolis. Number 4, Seattle Natives. Hart, killing loss there on the game of the week at 4:15 on Sunday. Seattle just wasn't able to do it against Phoenix. Kermpo shut down, which is unlikely usually. But Tepsi had a great game. Geo Monsters offense just was too much for the Natives defense. And yeah, Natives they're going to fall a little bit, but still plenty of time to catch back up. Number 3, 2-1. Really hard to rank as well. It's just how off the season, how I think they've all played. And number 3, surprising a little bit maybe for some people, I'm still going with the Kansas City Wind. I don't like them that much still. Yes, they beat New Orleans, but if that's the only good opponent they've really faced, their first 3 games were really bottom teams. I'm not gonna lie, they aren't that surprising to me yet. They barely beat New Orleans, but they did force Steph Sky's 2 first picks of the season. I don't know. They go up a little higher, but I need to see consistency from the Kansas City Wind. Beat another high tier team, and maybe I'll see if I can maybe like you guys. Number 2, kind of flew under my radar this whole season, and now they're really starting to creep up on me. The 2 seed, I'm going Phoenix, the Gila Monsters. Yes, the Gila Monsters, they played really well in America's Game of the Week, and I was commentating that, so I get to see it. Wow. This Tepsi's been underperforming all season, but he really had a connection with those receivers out there today. Julio Jokes, he did okay. The defense was lights out. Byron Baxter playing like a defensive back of the year again. He might get consecutive seasons. Jokes, I already went over him. But then throwing 3, making Kermit Poe throw 3 picks. That secondary, just wow. Phoenix, number 2. And number 1, I know they lost, but I'm still going New Orleans. I think they are a solid team. Just a rough week. I think they can bounce back. But, if they lose next week, don't expect New Orleans to be up here. So, yeah, that is the power rankings. MVP race, number 10, he's sticking in there. It's Eugene Green of the New York Businessman. Eugene Green, let's look at those stats. He is 95 attempts, 461 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 20 broken tackles. Receiving-wise, 50-plus receiving yards in a game and 1 receiving touchdown. New York, really good at drafting him. Not drafting him, trading for him. I think that was a great trade. Who did they even trade? I don't even know who they traded for that. They traded Luke Frankie. And Luke Frankie, he wasn't really I think this is a trade that helps both sides out. Luke Frankie's been great for, both of these guys, they weren't doing good on their teams, and they got put to different teams, and now they're playing great players. So, yeah, Eugene Green, great player. Helping New York out a lot in their run game. Number 9 is Frank Jog of the Cleveland Pirates. They are 0-5, but Frank Jog, he's still playing like a top-tier back. Got the air he needed going to be in Cleveland, and his record's not as great. But maybe this helps him get onto a better team. Or maybe he helps this team grow in a rebuild, because he's still young. He has 106 attempts, 559 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 19 broken tackles. Receiving-wise, he has a receiving touchdown. So, more yards than Eugene Green, a little less touchdowns, a little less broken tackles, a little less receiving production, but a little more attempts. He has 11 more attempts than Eugene Green. So, yeah, Frank Jog is pretty good. Number 8 is Ross Williams of the LA Earthquake. I'm pretty sure he got a pretty good game against Charlotte, but I don't know how he's still on here, because those 2 games, they're only 2 games, but he did not do good. But let's look at the stats. He has 87 attempts, one of the lowest for a starting running back in the league, I believe. 507 yards, 2 touchdowns, 21 broken tackles. Receiving wise, 2 receiving touchdowns, and 50 plus receiving yards. I mean, Ross Williams, his stats look great, but that's because of the 3-game streak he had at the beginning. He was looking like an MVP. Now he's trying to fight in the MVP race. If he can go back to how he was like at the beginning of the season, those first 2 games, I mean, maybe he can start climbing the charts again. But this LA team, not doing well, and that's kind of lack of production from Ross Williams. I think when Ross Williams does well, this team does well. So he needs to step it back up and start playing like his for himself. Now at number 7, we have Owen Castles getting on the board from the New Orleans Musicians. He had a really slow start to the season, and now he's starting to pick it up, and he's really taking control for New Orleans. Let's look at the stats. 91 attempts, 521 yards, 6 touchdowns, 15 broken tackles, no receiving production. I mean, he's never really been a receiving kind of guy. He does catch some balls out of the backfield, but doesn't have too many broken tackles. It's just the yards and touchdowns that really do it for him. Touchdowns are definitely used in the red zone a lot. He's that elusive kind of guy, and he can get open. Number 6 is Seth Skies of the New Orleans Musicians. So Skies is going to fall off a little game after that game in Kansas City. Not one of his best. Let's look at the stats. 113 completions out of 144 attempts. 1,076 yards, 9 touchdowns, 2 picks, no rushing game. So, Skies, I mean, what was helping him so much in that MVP race is his not throwing interceptions thing, but he kind of broke that this week. So, yeah, not the best for Skies. He's already thrown more interceptions in that one game than he did last season in total. So, yeah. But Skies, still in the running, still with a few more games, could get back up there. Number 5, another QB, Kermit Poe of the Seattle Knights. 3 picks in that game. Not one of his best at all. Let's look at the stats. 93 completions out of 125 attempts. 1,056 yards. 6 touchdowns. 5 picks. 50-plus rush yards in the game. And 5 rushing touchdowns. Again, not the best passing stats. Seth Skies, but those rushing yards really set him apart a little bit from Skies. So, then, for number 4, we got Julio Jones of the Phoenix Skill Monsters. He's just been a great back this year. Again, moved on from Frank Jog, traded him because he wanted to be traded. I don't think they really wanted to trade him because they liked the double threat. But Jokes has really stepped up into that number 1 role. He's got 102 attempts, 591 yards, 4 touchdowns, 23 broken tackles, 50-plus receiving yards in a game, and 1 receiving touchdown. Just great. He has good touchdown production, great broken tackle production, good receiving production. He's got attempts, so he's utilized. He's just that all-around back that Phoenix is getting right now, and it's showing on the field. Now, number 3, he's trying to get back-to-back MVPs. It is Taylor Little of the Detroit Power. So the team not doing that great, and that's due to both sides not playing well. But Taylor Little, he's doing great. 103 attempts, 556 yards, 4 touchdowns, 30 broken tackles, and a receiving touchdown. So he's doing great in the broken tackles department. He actually holds that record, trying to break it, and he's on pace to. Receiving-wise, I mean, he's more the power guy. Utilized a lot with over 100 attempts already. 556 yards, that's great. So, yeah, Detroit Power, top running in the top tier. Number 2, it's been a while since we've seen him on here. He hasn't got this high at all. It's Joey Adams of the Charlotte Pats. I mean, Charlotte not doing too well, but Joey Adams, he single-handedly leads these teams to win. This team to wins. 76 attempts. I think that is the fewest in the league. 557 yards, 5 touchdowns, 11 broken tackles, and he's a power guy, so this kind of surprised me. I think he is one of the lowest broken tackles in the league, but this is what really surprised me. 50-plus receiving yards in the game, 3 times. So in 3 games, he's had over 50-plus receiving yards and 3 receiving touchdowns. He is on pace definitely to beat Ronaldo Hoskins' receiving back record. So yeah, I did not expect him to be so much out of the passing game, but I guess Phillips liked him. So, and yeah, if it's working out, keep doing it. Adams just great. Number 1 in the MVP race, it is Willie Rogers. I mean, this guy really helped in that game. 3 rushing touchdowns. Let's look at the stats. 100 attempts, so utilized really well. 621 yards, a lot. 9 touchdowns. 15 broken tackles, so not the most, but no receiving game. But this guy on the ground, just great touchdowns, great yards. I mean, broken tackles could be more, but he utilized well. So the yards and touchdowns, like Hyde can't not put Rodgers here. And now we get to go to playoff picture. We already talked about everyone, so we're not going to talk too much about it. I'll just tell you what the record is and where they are. Relocation status: Cleveland Pirates 0-5. In the hunt, number 2 seed Atlanta Predators 2-3. Number 1 seed Detroit Power 2-3. Number 6 seed 3-2 Seattle Natives. Number 5th seed Kansas City Wind at 4-1. 4th seed New York Businessmen 2-3. 3rd seed Minneapolis Fishers at 3-2. 2nd seed Phoenix Gale Monsters at 4-1 with the bye. And number 1 seed New Orleans Musicians with 4-1 with the bye. So yeah. That is that, and we'll get to the tops of the league. After this week, we'll have the call series, so I'm excited for that. I don't know if I'll be commentating those games, but we'll see. I probably will. Let's see. We got quarterback tops, completions. Tony Baxter actually leads now with 114. Kendall Hastings with attempts with 172. Yards, it's still Kyle Shooter, 1,332. Touchdowns, Seth Guys with 9. Interceptions, Kendall Hastings with 8. Even though he didn't throw one this week, he still leads. Halfback tops, attempts, Frank Jog, 106. Yards, Willie Rogers, 621. Touchdowns, Willie Rogers, 9. Broken tackles, Taylor Little, 30. Wide receiver / tight end tops, receptions, Carl Graves and Danny Edwards, 30. Sheldon Romero on yards with 380. Sheldon Larson with yards with 381. Touchdowns, Ron Foyle and Warren Bishop with 5. Yeah, Warren Bishop, the backup tight end for New Orleans, is leading the league in touchdowns for Ron Foyle, which is absolutely mind-blowing. And Ron Foyle, if he gets one more touchdown this season, he'll actually break the wide receiver touchdown record. Defensive top, solo tackles, Wesley Francis with 36. Assist, Allen Clemens with 24. Tackles for loss, Luke Frankie with 10. Sacks, Roland Lemus with 13. And turnovers, Byron Baxter with 6. 4 interceptions and 2 forced fumbles. And now we got offense, stats. 12th Predators, 11th Businessmen, 10th Pirates, 9th Enforcers, 8th Gila Monsters, 7th Bats, 6th Natives, 5th Fishers, 4th Earthquake, 3rd Power, 2nd Musicians, 1st Wind, Rush Offense, 12th Predators, 11th Earthquake, 10th Pirates, 9th Enforcers, 8th Fishers, 7th Bats, 6th Businessmen, 5th Wind, 4th Natives, 3rd Musicians, 2nd Power, 1st Gila Monsters. Pass Offense, 12th Businessmen, 11th Gila Monsters, 10th Enforcers, 9th Predators, 8th Bats, 7th Natives, 6th Power, 5th Fishers, 4th Pirates, 3rd Musicians, 2nd Earthquake, 1st Wind. Now we're going to defense. Worst defense in the league, 12th Predators, 11th Power, 10th Wind, 9th Pirates, 8th Gila Monsters, 7th Businessmen, 6th Bats, 5th Earthquake, 4th Fishers, 3rd Enforcers, 2nd Natives, 1st Musicians. Defensive rush, 12th Predators, 11th Earthquake, 10th Pirates, 9th Fishers, 8th Wind, 7th Bats, 6th Gila Monsters, 5th Power, 4th Musicians, 3rd Businessmen, 2nd Natives, and 1st Enforcers. And the defensive pass, 12th Power, 11th Predators, 10th Wind, 9th Businessmen, 8th Pirates, 7th Enforcers, 6th Fishers, 5th Bats, 4th Natives, 3rd Fishers, 2nd Earthquake, and 1st Musicians. So that is your defense and offensively rankings. And now, to close off the week, we will go with the Week 6 schedule to end us out in the first half of this thing. I'll tell you if any trades happened this last week for trades. I don't know if there will be any, but we'll see. Thursday night primetime, we got the Pirates at the Bats. Should be a good one. Ooh, I'll go with... Hold on, let me see. Defensive rushing. Pirates are ranked 10th. giving up over 100 rush yards a game. Adams is going to go off. Give me the Bats. Hopefully that's right. I'm expecting Joey Adams to have over 100 rushing yards. That's what I'm going to expect. Then you got at 1 o'clock Earthquake at Enforcers. This was the first ever Jason Bowl game in history, actually. But it was at LA. Two teams that have been struggling. Ooh. Williams against a pretty good rush defense. Give me the Enforcers. I think it'll be kind of defensive, but yeah. I'll go with Enforcers on this. Fishers at Businessmen. Wait, hold on. Which one of these is the game of the week? We'll actually see about that. We'll see. But I'll be commentating game of the week. I don't know which one it is yet, but I'll have to decide on that. Fishers at Businessmen. Daxon, Gurnett. It's really to which quarterback's going to make more mistakes. Both have decent run games. Good defenses. Give me the Fishers barely closing it out against the Businessmen. Bold prediction. Daxon will have two passing touchdowns. Bold prediction. Predators at Power. Ooh. At the Power. Both really bad pass defenses. I'm expecting a lot of points to go on the board. But I think Predators will make less mistakes, and that will give them like 10. That will give them a lead. And I'm going to guess bold prediction is going to be over 10 points. Just maybe 10 points or over. Then Natives at Musicians. This might be your game of the week. It's either going to be that or Fishers at Businessmen. And I think since I have Natives at that, I'm going to have Fishers at Businessmen be game of the week. No, I'll have Earthquake at Enforcers. Actually, I'll see. We'll see. Natives at Musicians. Both good teams. Both quarterbacks coming off of rough games. Owen Cass. Give me Musicians. They'll bounce back. And Natives are going to go to a 2-game loss streak. I think they'll still be a good team, but they're going to take an L here against Musicians. They're coming for blood. As they barely lost to Seattle last year. And that cost them a bye week, which they needed. So, I think Musicians get the revenge here. Get a bounce back win at home. And then your Monday nighter, you got Wind at the Gila Monsters. Wind need to prove themselves here, but they're not. It's going to be the Gila Monsters. Oh no, I forgot to say a bold prediction on Natives and Musicians. Bold prediction. Castles will have 1 rushing touchdown and two touchdowns. I don't know if they're going to be rushing or receiving, but he'll have 2 touchdowns. Wind at Gila Monsters. It's going to be the Gila Monsters. I already said that. And I think, bold prediction, both teams will have over... No, I'm not going to say that. Bold prediction, Shooter will throw... Shooter will have under 200 yards. That's my bold prediction. I think they'll keep him under 200. I'll say maybe 150. I don't know. I think I'll just go 200. But yeah, those are my predictions. And I'll see you guys in week number 7. Well, actually, I'll see you on Thursday night when the Pirates fight the Bats. But till then, I'm your commentator / commissioner Josh Wexel. And I'll see you guys on Thursday night.